Okay, some happy sports news to report. Glasgow has been confirmed as the host of the 2026 Commonwealth Games. They volunteered a few months back when there was no host to be found when Melbourne and the state of Victoria in Australia pulled out, citing cost concerns. They put their hand up and said, "Look, we'll step in if we can be approved." They hosted in 2014 to great success. It was well received back in 2014. The athletes and competitors in all the sports and disciplines remember it very fondly. The fans who went and the locals in the city of Glasgow remember it very fondly, and the media raved about it. It was the most successful Commonwealth Games of all time in some people's estimation. It also didn't cost as much as you think to host. Only 517 million in costs to get it up and running and going, and it made Glasgow a lot of money. It boosted tourism in the city. The infrastructure projects and those sports facilities are still getting regular use today. Fast forward a few years, Gold Coast hosted in 2018, disaster. Wasn't a great Commonwealth Games, not well remembered fondly by fans, by the people in the state of Queensland and in the Gold Coast area of southern Queensland, and it didn't do very well. Birmingham, mixed bag. The sporting product, fantastic. Fans turning up, fantastic. The people of Birmingham remember it quite fondly as an event. Birmingham is a city with a lot of issues in the West Midlands. There's a lot of social problems, a lot of low incomes, high poverty rates. But that event was fondly remembered by the locals in Birmingham and those that went. And the infrastructure projects that were put in place, they were planning that years in advance. So the actual product, fantastic. The cost, ruinous for the city of Birmingham. The city council is massively indebted. It's basically bankrupt in real terms, and the cost overruns and the costs associated with hosting the Commonwealth Games contributed to the financial mess that Birmingham City Council is currently in. It's not the only reason why Birmingham City Council is pretty much bankrupt, but it contributed significantly to the financial difficulties the local government in Birmingham is currently facing. So with what happened in Gold Coast in Australia and what happened with Birmingham recently, Melbourne and the wider state of Victoria and Australia, that concerned them, and then they looked at their projected spend to upgrade facilities and prepare the infrastructure for the event when this is going to cost us a lot of money. And they would have to borrow heavily in order to host the games. The other option is to also raise taxes quite heavily. And this is coming at a time when the federal government in Canberra was like, well, we're cutting taxes this year. We're easing the cost of living crisis. It wouldn't have worked. Bad PR would have been disastrous. It would have been a political nightmare as well as a financial one for the wider state of Victoria. And with how Gold Coast went in 2018, and that left a bitter taste in many Australians' mouth, they were not happy with how they hosted the event. They really... It contributed politically to some Liberal members of Parliament in Australia getting unseated by Labor parliamentarians. It was a big reason why was the excessive cost and the embarrassing failure that it was. Now, while we've got the 2026 Games secured, the long-term future of the Commonwealth Games is still up for debate. There's still question marks over the long-term viability of the Commonwealth Games as a sporting event. But we've also seen these questions in the past about the Olympics, about football World Cups, Rugby League World Cups, Rugby Union World Cups, Cricket World Cups, other major international sporting tournaments. We've seen this question mark about the cost aspect of hosting a major international tournament in sport or just a sporting event like the Commonwealth Games. So it's not unique to the Commonwealth Games having this concern about cost and profitability and security concerns and etc. etc. But when the state of Victoria pulled out, there were real concerns that the Commonwealth Games may cease to exist as a sporting event. Glasgow stepping up didn't leave the organisers, those who organised the Commonwealth Games and vote on host cities and host regions and host countries, much of a choice because there were no one else willing to do it. And what works in Glasgow's favour, it will cost a lot less to host the event. They've already got the infrastructure in place, and the city has proven time and time again with even other major international sporting events, it can host something of this scale. It hosts the World Indoor Athletics. It's hosted indoor velodrome. It's got a lot of sporting facilities in the city, and it's proven time and time again, as I say, that it can host one-off sporting events or major sporting events like the Commonwealth Games, and do so very, very well. So we'll see what happens in 2026, but at least we know the Commonwealth Games has a home for 2026. Past that, it does get a bit dicey. Past 2030, we don't know. The future is still uncertain, but at least in the short term, the Commonwealth Games does have a future. Anyway, from me for now, thank you very much for watching. Please also do not forget that memberships are now available. If you like what you see, hit like and subscribe. And I'll hopefully see more of you guys in the comments section on the view counts very, very soon.